Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome to this Friday stream. I'm Vladis. Wow, what a day! What a day this has been. Ooh. Let me just say it right now for the YouTubes. I had a thumbnail for, since last night that I was going to do a 1v1 with my buddy Roar. He had something important come up, very important, and completely agree with him. Like, hey, go do what you got to do, man. And he really wanted to be here. I'm pretty sure he'll pop up in chat and be like, upset that he's not talking to me right now. But hey, life happens. It happens. So I'll have to keep you entertained for tonight. I hope y'all are okay with that. I hope everybody in chat's doing okay. Thank y'all so much for coming and hanging out this pretty late stream. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pause the music. So I'm fumbling a little bit on my words because I have so much to say and I have literally no idea where I want to start. So first things first, which is the big thing, right, that everybody's talking about, right? Content creator program. I mean, it's going to actually be releasing, right? It's not a figment of our imagination. So hopefully your boy will be a part of that content creator program. No, I'm just totally joking. That was probably like such a side piece compared to what everybody's actually talking about, the Steam stuff, right? So I was able to check out Phantom's video that it released today. And, Phantom, our boy Phantom at Theory Forge, man, he's like our Ashes of Creation Nostradamus. He has been predicting and saying things, and yet we keep, just crazy old man, like, oh, there's Phantom going on about things. We got to start listening to him. Just saying, we really do got to start listening to him. I saw his video, man, and I'm disappointed too, but I have literally nothing, absolutely nothing to back this up. This is more of a gut thing. Sometimes my gut is right. Sometimes my gut is wrong. I don't think this was a Steven call. I think this was a pressure. I think, for those of you who know, right, and they even said in the live stream, right, when it comes to, oh, is this game fully funded? Oh, Steven's doing everything. They have investors, guys. They have angel investors. They have people who help. Steven is not the only one, with the financial purse strings here. I feel, so you have to understand, and I know everybody treats Intrepid like they have to be this pinnacle of perfection, or they're going to show the industries like how to make an MMO or how to run a company, or, whatever it is. But the reality is, this is the reality. You had a 30-year-old multimillionaire make a company that he had no experience in. And this is no shade to Steven. These are just facts. I'm going to just say facts. He had no experience of running the kind of company that he was going to run. He learned through a lot of hard knocks. He learned through a lot of trial and error. And the fact of the matter is, I think they were at a point where it was just too much. Like, probably too much is the wrong word. It's just they waited too long to get to where we are now. And I think one of the investors got cold feet and said, I'm going to pull out. And I think when that happened, I think Steven or, the higher ups at Intrepid tried to, quell any kind of fear that investor may have had. And I think this was a stipulation. If you put ashes on Steam, I won't back out. But I also think that if that person did back out, I think the reality would have been Intrepid would have been another AGS. I think Ashes would have shut their door. Because again, everybody kept on talking in this live stream, oh my God, this is such a money grab. Yeah. Startups need money. Like, who do you think is running these servers? They're talking about running these servers for over a year. Servers are expensive, especially the kind of servers that Ashes needs to run. It's expensive. Running a company the size of Intrepid per year for health insurance, it's like I looked it up on AI, like just roughly, and it could be anywhere between 70 million to 100 million. In that range. We don't know how crazy or, whatever. Planning. What up, brother? We don't know how much it is. But, I don't know what kind of purity test Ashes needs to run for people. People are so sad that AGS shut down. And yes, like, New World was just running off of cosmetics, free to play, or not free to play, but you just purchase it once or whatever. But companies need money to sustain themselves, and I think, unfortunately, with AGS's thing, the stockholders or just the, C-suite people basically made a decision like, well, this division just isn't really making us money the way we thought we were going to make. Because they looked at the game industry at large, probably like mobile gaming or whatever, and they're like, look at how much they're making over here, but look how much we're making with New World. And then we're putting all these other projects in that is probably going to do the same amount. Like, no, we're going to pull out. So, I think, when I was watching Phantom's video, man, I felt every bit of emotion that Phantom was I just felt the aura. And, I've talked to some of the devs myself, like personally. I talked to Plan yesterday. I really, every dev that I've spoken with has always treated me with like the utmost respect, and they thank me profusely for being a content creator, sticking around, playing the game, testing it, giving feedback on the game. These people are passionate, man. These people are freaking passionate. And, this is their livelihood. You know what I mean? This is what they're trying, every person at a gaming studio is trying to make a name for themselves, right? They're grinding. They're out there working, I know some devs that worked till 2 a.m. It's a lot. And I feel like I'm just at a point right now where, I can choose to be upset. Like, oh my God, why are they doing this? But I know why they're doing this. They need money. And the thing is that I think they could have, like, people like, oh, Vlad, well, they could have just made $50 and not go to Steam, right? And just do like cosmetics and stuff like that. Yes, they could have done that, but that would have costed them their investor. And I think that by doing that would have inevitably led to a shutdown, because they probably know, based off of what the Blaze that we have, yes, will sustain for like a month, not a month or two, but let's say a couple of months. They probably had to make a hard decision. Steven had to make a hard decision. I think that's honestly the reality of what happened. I don't think Steven, is all, oh, gung ho, like, excited about it. Like, I think, of course, he's doing that. But I think, for all of us really inside the Ashes community, right, that have been here for a long time, I think he's just trying to make the best out of a worse situation. I truly do. And I'm going to continue to be here. I'm going to continue to help out the team. And they're continuing to grind. They're continuing to work. They have their date set for the 11th of December. I mean, I knew they were going to hit the 18th. I mean, people were still asking in Discord, are you guys still going to hit November 18th for Harbingers? I'm like, bro, really? It's just like, come on. But here's the other thing about it too. What, in my mind, I want to talk about this too. Regardless, even if Steam was released, let's say in beta, right? Let's say, we got what we actually wanted, right? Where, oh, Steam is not, Ashes isn't going to release on Steam right now. They release it on Steam like way closer to when there's actually finished or whatever. We all know, and we've known this, how much we say, well, maybe this game isn't for you. That's a quote we've said in this community for years. This was always going to be a mixed game. I think even if Ashes came out on Steam perfectly, every system intact, no bugs, perfect this, perfect that, people would still review bomb it. People would still say it's negative because it literally goes against every single current MMO design. Like, let's be real. Like, let's talk real. Let's talk facts. Ashes was always going to face an uphill battle on Steam. Always. So I don't understand, if we just would have waited, yes, like, okay, like maybe, it wouldn't have been, maybe it would went from mostly negative to a mixed review, but it's still going to be a mixed game. This game is so divisive. It just is. But here's the thing. The one game that I think about a lot is No Man's Sky. If you were there, if you were one of the pre-order pack people of No Man's Sky back then, bro, they went through the trenches. Like, that game, like, there's a video that I watched of like the history of No Man's Sky and like the early access release on Steam, the whole like the debacle, the oh my god, what are they doing kind of thing, right? And it got dragged, man. Dragged. I mean, it was overwhelmingly negative at launch. It was bad. But what did the devs do? They hunkered down and kept going. I mean, dude, if it wasn't for AGS being a multi-billion-dollar company, you don't think New World would have shut down within a couple of months of its launch? Bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know people love to shit on Ashes. I know it's the cool and hip thing to do. Woo, like I get it, right? But I'm just speaking facts, man. Like, I don't understand the whole like, oh, well, they shouldn't have done that. Well, then how else are they going to make money? And again, if you were the CEO of this company and you had a huge investor that was giving millions of dollars to your company quarterly, and then you just had to rely off of your community of 100,000 players potentially. Sorry, that scared the shit out of me. Spectre, thank you so much for becoming a member, brother. Thank you. Very much appreciate the support. I think you would have made this decision too. And don't say you wouldn't. If you put in over 40 million plus, we don't even know the exact number, but that is the astronomical shit ton of money I have never seen before in my entire life. And if you think that a person would just be like, oh, this investor is going to, I'm going to disagree with this person and they want to put it on Steam and I'm going to take the higher road. No, I think Steven bared down and was like, fuck. And if, like, I've been doing this for 9 years. Like, I can't stumble now. Especially like when we literally just had AGS shut down. There's been a like plethora of MMOs that have been shutting down left and right. Fantastic Fixel Passel or whatever the heck, the Greg Street Ghost MMO is gone now, right? I mean, it's, and we've had like the Warhammer MMO shut down. We've been on this joyride basically of like drive-by shootings of MMOs. I mean, it's bad out there in MMO land. So people are saying that they've Calico, thank you so much, man, for the support, for the bits. Thank you, man. Thank you. I don't know. I just think that all we can do is just see what happens. Could it be a shit show? Absolutely could be a shit show. Like, but I mean, hey, we're down this path. We can either, you know, kick and scream while going down this path, but eventually we're going to keep going. And, you know, a lot of people say like, this is like the death nail and ashes. It's going to get review bombed. It was going to be review bombed regardless, even if the game was perfect. There's so many people that literally make it their day to shit on Ashes of Creation. Like it's weird. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's one of the few MMOs. Like, I don't like PAX Day, but I'm not following that project with some hard on being like, oh, PAX Day, I'm going to go and leave a hate thread, or I'm going to make a big old, like, you know, MMORPG Reddit story about PAX Day. But it's like people have that with Ashes. Like, I don't know what about Ashes is like such a thing for certain people. IGN posted the trailer and it's getting review bombed. It's getting review bombed as much as you put a story on MMORPG Reddit of Ashes of Creation, even a positive one, it gets review bombed. Oh, graphics are PlayStation. You're like, we've known this. Again, this is what I'm telling you. This is what I am saying. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, even if Ashes, you know, has, you know, more time to polish and develop like a better art style or whatever, people aren't gonna care. They're just gonna want to shit on it. That, like, I'm just being honest with you guys. Like, I don't know what it is, but at the same time, we have the same community, like almost like in a crying session being like, well, where are the MMOs? Where's all the MMOs at? Why is New World shutting down? Why, you know, is Ghost Crawler's, you know, company shutting down? Like, what's going on? It's like, because MMOs are one of the hardest games to make. That's a fact. Like, outside of GTA 5 or GTA 6 or whatever the new one is, MMOs are insane. There could be so many fumbles, so many potential redesigns, so many things that you thought would work on paper that end up not making it to the live game because it sucked. It's not fun. It is hard. And yet we're championing the failure of one. Like, we're excited to see an MMO fail, but yet on the other hand, we're over here like, well, where are the MMOs? It's like, bro, like, as much as I don't like PAX Day as a game, I don't like wish for its failure. You know, like, Pantheon has been going on for like 10 plus years, and they finally got a big investor, which is great. I'm not a fan of Pantheon. It's not my cup of tea, but it's someone else's, and that's great for that other person. Like, why do I need to piss in their Cheerios if they like the game? I may not like it, but who cares? You know, it's weird. It's so weird. It's like this beyond tribal culture that's just cultivated in this community. I'm not even talking the Ashes of Creation community. I'm just talking about the MMO genre. Like, it's so weird. It's like why do MMO players have to be this mono gamer? Like you have to swear this allegiance to one MMO and then talk shit about everything else. Like, bro, we're gamers. Like, who plays one survival game only and talks shit about the other survival games? No one. No one in their right mind does that. If you like the survival genre, chances are you probably play more than one fucking survival game. Why can't MMO players do that? You know, it's so freaking weird. So I just don't get it. Calico dude, thank you so much for the sub, brother. Thank you, man. Very much appreciated. But yeah, I mean, this is wild. I feel for Steven, man. I feel for the devs. If Phantom was truly right, the reason why we got that second live stream delay was because that's when they had their all hands on deck meeting and told their devs about this. Man, that's wild. And I mean, if they're going to launch on Steam, I mean, do you think they're going to launch with more than 2 servers? Oh man, we need that dynamic gridding, bro. Don't we need that dynamic gridding working? And now I'm just like worried, you know, about, you know, launching with one continent. And if that's truly the case, then I got to make a video about that because starting areas need a revamp. And I don't just mean like first time user experience. I mean, of course that it needs that too, but I'm talking spawn like starting in the cathedral, that needs to be revamped in a way where you can have multiple people spawn on different server workers. Because if not, the congestion on launching with one server with 2 starting areas, I mean, and vanilla WoW launched with 8 races and 6 starting areas, and it was insane as far as queue times. And they only had like 100,000 people. Like when they launched with like 100,000 people, and they didn't expect that, so they launched like more servers and everything like that. It was crazy in 2004 when it launched. Fast forward to now, where over 1 million players can potentially want to play day one. You need a better way to spawn players into your world from character creation. That's a fact. That is 100% a fact. And this is why I brought that up. Fandit brother, thank you so much for coming out, man. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you for your video. Yeah, no problem, Planet. No problem, dude. You know, and these, you know, and the devs, you know, they can only do so much. You know, they're devs. They're not, you know, it's like why I felt for New World, to be honest. I mean, one of my buddies worked in New World, and just, you know, when he was telling me stories of how the, you know, the upper management forced them to use Lumberyard to promote, you know, their custom engine or whatever to sell to other companies eventually or whatever. It was like so bad. So bad. But hey, let's watch that trailer, man. Dude, this trailer, oh my god, man. I was like, my mouth dropped when I saw this trailer. Oh my god, it is beautiful. I honestly thought when it said Vera, I was like, is that Margaret? I was like, is she doing the narration? But it wasn't Margaret. It wasn't Margaret.
Vera was once a world of abundance. Great empires flourished and spread across endless seas. Its people, your people, carved kingdoms from wilderness, daring any perils that lay between. For at the heart of this world lays the essence, magic itself. But this wondrous age of discovery and purpose left few prepared for the horrors to come. For the ancients showed no mercy. Survivors were advised to flee to the divine gates. An age passed before the gates reawakened. But now, you and your people have returned to reclaim your ancestral home. Your destiny awaits.
I'm sorry, but that was cool as shit. Like, dude, that was so good. Yeah, trailer looked great. Misty, it's really nice trailer. Been waiting so long for AOC and finally got to the point next month as I'm buying a PC this month and be able to buy it and play. You know, and a lot of people were saying this, like, you know, like if they lowered the price again, you know, it would bring in, because there's so many people that want to play this game, but feel like $100 is a bit too much, you know? And again, another reality is because it's launching, in early access on Steam, we will no longer have testers. We will have gamers. And Phantom was so right in his video. They will play this game and review it as a game because it's not a test. They won't, the average gamer on Steam will not play this game and review it and critique it and as a game. They probably won't even really give feedback. I think some might. That's kind of what I want to make a video on. There's actually a couple of videos. I actually wrote it down on my phone, like some of the titles and some of the things I want to talk about. What up, Cyber Dude? What's going on? We're talking about the early access on Steam for Ashes. Talk about a whole bunch of stuff. All the gaming outlets are going to review it as a game. IGN, PC Gamer, etc. Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know, and Steven and, you know, Intrepid could say, you know, this is early access, this, you know, yada, 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 yada. But it's going to go in one ear and out the other for the average person that's going to buy it on Steam. And, you know, like we could literally run into another No Man's Sky scenario, you know, and I hope people are okay with that. But just because, you know, the game is overwhelmingly negative and people are going to write it off, the thing is that there isn't many MMOs. And I think even if it was negative or overwhelmingly negative on Steam, there will be some people that will watch streams. There'll be some people that will still watch the YouTube videos. And be like, huh, it's not that bad. Like, why are people complaining about it? You know? And so I think, again, like, there will always be this kind of agenda for certain individuals to ruin Ashes of Creation, to want to see Ashes of Creation fail. But I don't want to see any MMORPG fail. With now, all we have are just the big players. You know, World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy 14. You know, like, we need fresh blood, man. We need something. I can't even say New World anymore because New World, I mean, it's still there technically, but it ain't going to be there for very much longer. If people aren't testing, as it is, doesn't it hurt to get more bodies, at least as data to work with? Yeah. I mean, and Steam does have a huge base, man. Like some people don't like going to like a website and like having another launcher, right? It's like, oh, this game has a launcher. Oh, this other game has another launcher. It's like all these fucking launchers. I get it. Like, I'm a Steam user myself. Like, I like it having all my games on one platform that I can just, oh, I want to play this today. I want to play this today. Like, it's very nice. You know, I've always wanted Ashes to go on Steam eventually. I really did. Like, You know, like even World of Warcraft or not World of Warcraft, but like Blizzard started doing that to their games. Like Overwatch was on Steam, Diablo went to Steam. Like, you know, to me, it's kind of a no brainer. You know, like some people don't like having all these different launchers, but they know there's like millions, multi-millions of users on Steam worldwide. So why not? Like, you know, Steam was 100% not what I was thinking. Yeah. I was sort of thinking that, to be honest, because again, I didn't want to believe it, but and people kept on asking me like, "Hey, Vlad, you know, what do you think it is?" And I said, "Well, it has to be something marketing related." You know, and I thought, well, what better marketing tool? Because, you know, if they're not going to go and talk to like Asmongold or talk to all these people, like what other big marketing push could there be? Steam. You know, 148 million player base on Steam. Yep. Yep. So, and you know, from what they said, they're delaying. So 0.18, which is the Harbinger's update, will be released on the 11th. We haven't got any, so they didn't even tell us. So I was actually kind of expecting for them to tell us when 0.17 was actually going to launch, or like when is that going to launch? Is it going to launch like next week? Is it going to launch like when, you know? Or are they just kind of merging the 0.17 update with the 0.18 update? Like, are they just combining them together? I don't know. One thing that's interesting is refunding will be different. Steam is under 2 hours played, under 2 weeks, and Ashes is within 2 months. No questions asked. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And especially if there's only going to be 2 servers, right? I honestly don't know if they're even going to do another EU server. I don't know. Like maybe. I mean, now with Steam, maybe. I really don't know. But to me, like, and you know, Margaret asked my question. Thank God, you know. But I asked more specifically about the duping. You know, like the gold duping and the the item duping. You know, because I wanted to have confirmation. Like, has that been fixed or will be fixed before this update? Because again, you know, I'm all for a wipe, but if there's certain things that aren't fixed yet, a wipe's kind of pointless. You know what I mean? Like, we're just going to inevitably go back to where we were, you know, if the same issues are still present. But I think it's their goal, especially now that we know it's the 11th of December. I think it's their goal to get to get all of the bugs and dupes out of there before the 11th. So I've been, you know, I talked to my wife today, and I've been just kind of brainstorming like what video I want to release first. Because I have like several that I wanted to do. And the one I was working on, like, it just kind of wasn't working out. And it was mostly about the economy. And I ended up just writing this piece on Reddit, kind of giving my feedback about like economy and like legendaries and rarity and stuff like that. And I figured that's probably more of a Reddit post. But I think now with this huge news, there's just other videos that I think are way more important and pressing to make. Yeah, the answer to the dupe question was not good. Yeah, I know. I was so like it's almost like Steven wasn't like aware of it, which kind of like, you have to be aware of this, dude. Like, you have to. Like, don't just gloss over this one. This is important. Like, that was like what I was like, ask some devs how they felt finding this out just 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I should. Planet, how did you feel? How did you feel, Planet? Let me see. Not that they patched the dupe glitches. You see, man, I wish they started PTR testing sooner or delayed a couple of more months to do the whole Steam thing. Yeah, I mean, honestly though, I don't know if it would have mattered in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean? Like, I think the game's at where it's at, you know, and I think even, you know, in your mind, if you thought, well, maybe if there was like, you know, secondary archetypes, or maybe if there was this, like, if a person has a 2-hour window to play this game and they're already kind of itching to maybe, you know, refund or whatever, and realistically, what can you do that's exciting in Ashes in under 2 hours? Like, you know, can we literally honestly ask this question? What can you do in Ashes of Creation as soon as you log in with a fresh character that is like super exciting to do in under 2 hours? Maybe get out of Lion's Holt. Oh my god. Let me see. So close to Christmas, man, shit's gonna hit the fan and they'll have work over the holidays. No, yeah, you can see the visuals of the game. I mean, like, I think what I'm hoping. So I remember saying this on my stream back in Alpha 2, and this was like before Alpha 2 was started. It was like early October. This was when I had my interview with Steven, and I was just ready to get in there. And I finally got into the pre-alpha Alpha 2. Because I remember talking to Steven, and afterwards I said, hey, Steven, if you need any extra help on that pre-alpha, I'm here for you, dude. And he's like, oh yeah, you know, get Vlad in there. And I was like, oh. And I remember like my first time, and this is Alpha 2 phase 1. This is when the game was literally at its worst, right? In comparison to now. And my fun was realizing that the button pushing and how the game felt similar to World of Warcraft for me, like as a WoW player, I was just hoping that the game wasn't going to feel different. Like if you go from World of Warcraft to, let's say, New World, very different feel, like super different. But it was really amazing to me that how I played WoW, where I can auto run on my mouse button, you know, and I can, you know, hit abilities and everything like that, and just how it played felt very similar to WoW. Like that to me was just such a relief. And oh, like I just felt so good. And I remember playing the fighter, and I'm gonna play the fighter again, guys. I don't know. I need to get back on the fighter. I tried Ranger. I tried Rogue. I just have this special spot for the fighter, man, and I want to make fighters great in Ashes, 100%. I asked this on Dusty's stream. Does the 2-hour include server crashes / queues? That is a good question. I would say I'm not even saying anything because I honestly don't know. Imagine being in a freaking 10-hour queue for Ashes of Creation and you can't refund it because you were in a 10-hour queue, you know? Yeah, Steam have no way to check that as long as the game is running. Yes, you can always argue it though. By Steam account, no, it's unfortunately does not. Steam don't care. If it's logged 2 hours, then it's logged 2 hours. I had a big argument on a refund that with a different game some years ago. Yeah. And I think that's honestly going to be the thing. That's something that's probably one of the videos that I'm going to do first. Cause that was one of the things that I have there was pleading to people, you know, whether it's in my stream or whether it's watching my videos, or whether it's someone who's never even seen me before, is to make a video, be like, hey, are you interested in playing $50 for Ashes of Creation and you never played before? Watch this video first and then decide, you know, because I really want to be as transparent as I can with the game and how the game operates and what really, like, what exactly you're going to be getting into. Because, you know, and as much as they can watch my video and still be upset and be like, oh man, this game is shit and, you know, whatever. It's like, well, you know, some people, it's on them, you know, let's just be honest, right? Like some people don't want the accountability of, you know, purchasing a bad thing on them. But at the end of the day, I feel like if you did your research and you played, well, hey, you know, it is what it is. we really know is if when you buy it on site, we'll be able to link accounts. So they said that. So, I mean, look, I mean, if you go to Steam, it's right here. Requires third-party account, Intrepid account, and then in parentheses, it says supports linking to Steam account. So it literally says it right here. So I mean, I don't know if it is currently in yet, but it says that it does support linking to the Steam account. So I don't know what else to tell people, but from the website, it looks like you're going to be able to. Let's see what I fear about this wording is, and make that'll make Intrepid's launcher mandatory. No, I think you'll be able to play Ashes of Creation just on Steam without needing the launcher. I think because the reasoning why you need to go to the Ashes of Creation website to register is because this game eventually is going to be a game that you'll have to pay $15 a month for. Like, it's not a box cost, it's just a monthly sub. And they're probably going to want you to go to the website to register, have the account created, and then it'll link to your Steam account. You'll be able to launch it for Steam. But then when the game actually does go like live, then you'll, pay the $15 a month through the website. That's probably how it's going to work. At least to my, my knowledge. Maybe it doesn't work that way. I don't fucking know. But I mean, that's kind of like why I think it's probably going to work that way. But yeah, they like, I know there was a lot of questions on the whole Steam thing, but I was actually a little disappointed with this stream in them talking about the actual 0.17 or 0.18 update. I felt like all they did was basically talk about Summoner for 50 minutes and then went into this special announcement, which was just, early access on Steam. But we didn't really get any kind of like talks or chats about like, the upcoming test or PTR or, like we got like some little snippets of things here and there, but nothing like I would have liked more info on just like, 0.18 or whatever, I was really hoping they were going to show something Harbingers related. But they really didn't. So, I was just a little, disappointed with that fact, but I was still honestly mulling over this whole Steam thing. So it was just kind of like, it is what it is, kind of thing. You see, Steam allows you to sell on whatever platform you want, but you can't go lower in prices or offer different things that aren't in Steam because their policy. Yeah. No, 100%. Summoner Showcase, Hey Wipe, in December, and we're gonna go on Steam now. Yeah. Let me see. I know we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but does it feel like Intrepid is slowly holding stuff from us? No. I think that they are hopefully learning from this PTR experience of like how to run this PTR. I feel like, and this is again something I thought they were going to talk about this stream, and they didn't. I feel like in some ways the PTR has been handled good, and in other ways I feel like it's been handled very terribly in the sense of communication. Because they told us like, oh, this week we were going to be testing Harbinger stuff, and we literally didn't test like anything Harbingers related, really. We got like world bosses that we did, but really it was just like 1 through 9 gathering rarity, crafting. We got sports fishing. We see Harbingers has been there the whole time. Has it? It's been in the other zones. But I was talking about like focus testing on it. Like we didn't get any like specific, like, hey, today's test, we want you to go to the June Dark or go to the tropics and test these Harbinger things. Like, you know what I mean? Like they did it for so many features. Like even the what was it, the constellation thing. But I mean, I don't know. It was just kind of wild. Um, but I think, you know, and again, like I said, there were some good things, there were some bad things in my mind. But I like the fact that they're testing, you know, the everyday testing. I thought was a good thing. But I also felt too, and I know people may disagree with me on this, but I thought taking the live servers off for a week was a good move. I know people will disagree with me. I know people will be like, "Oh, Vlad, that's dumb." Okay, it's dumb. I'm still glad they did it because it literally forced people to take a break. Because some people didn't want to play the PTR. Like, I think certain people like have been really testing this game a lot. And again, as much as I appreciate it, and as much as probably Intrepid appreciates it, like I think now is not the time to really play this game as a game. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not. Like, I think if you've gotten all the testing you wanted from it, if you did everything that you wanted to do, cool. But, you know, I think certain people are like upset, you know, as to like, oh, the servers are dead. You know, no one's wanting to test anymore. Cool. Like, I don't understand the mentality for certain people as to why do you think people should be compelled to test an unfinished alpha every day? Why? Like, does that indicate how amazing the game is? Does it indicate how bad the game is? No, I don't think so. Like, I truly don't. Like, even if the game was at its best, I would still treat it kind of like with my, you know, hand, kind of treat it like it's still over there, you know? I don't understand that mentality. I don't. Like go in, test what you got to test, do what you got to do. If you want to play it a little bit more, great. But I don't understand this whole indication that's like, oh, the game's a ghost town. And I realized that, right, because there's bad things that were happening. There was, like, of course, the duping, the gold dupes or the material dupes or item dupes or whatever. But then there was just like the whole economy, the RM there's like the botting, there was like the rarity overlay. Like, it was bad news bears, basically. Like, every week we were finding out something big in phase 3. Like, this has been the biggest roller coaster for a lot of people. And you know, I just like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, man. Like, other than a lot of what's been going on and what's been happening in the community, I think it's not one thing specifically, you know, because it's like, and then we had the whole AGS thing happen, and then we had Ghost's announcement happen, and then, you know, you log into your game or you log into Ashes and it feels like there's no one playing, or, you know, we have like these crazy issues, and it just feels like this huge, you know, valley. Like, we have ebbs and flows, we have hills, we have valleys, and I feel like the valleys were just like, we're in a valley, dude. We're deep in that valley, you know, but we'll get out. You know, there will be things that will happen that are, you know, like, we'll have more content to do. There'll be more adjustments coming for character classes. Like, that was one thing I did hear them say, thank God. Next week we're going to be getting some class adjustments, and you know, they said fighter specifically, and I'm like, oh God, yes, please. That'd be amazing. This just spells money. Level 25 cap at EA use up their $500 and $250 tester time, aka their money. Drops extensions every 10 to 20 level increase, rake in more cash. Just lube up, folks. Yeah, I mean, again, like, you have a particular product that's been going on for many, many, many years. It costs multi-millions of dollars to run a gaming company the size of Intrepid. Like, I don't understand this whole thing of like, oh, why doesn't Intrepid just run for free? Like, why can't they just employ their people with like pixie dust and fairy dust, you know? Like, Of course, like they need money, bro. Like every startup needs money. Like I don't get it. Like what's the big deal? Like why is it such a boogeyman that a company asks you for your money? Like I don't get it. Like you have multi-billion-dollar companies like Blizzard asking you like hook, line, and sinker for every little thing. They have like the box cost, they have the monthly subscription, they have, you know, multiple tertiary currencies that you can go and buy, plus a cosmetic store. And no one seems to be like, everyone's cool with it, completely cool with it. But yet a startup asks you for money and it's like the end of the fucking world, bro. Like, man, like they're just this evil company because they asked you for money. Like, I truly don't get it. Let me see. Why did they lie then? Who? Who lied? And about what? Reaper, dude, thank you so much for the sub, brother. Thank you, man. Really appreciate the support. What happens if they do all of that and still can't afford the dev cost? They are spending around 40 million a year, according to Steven. Well, that's what I mean, right? Like, if you didn't catch me when I said earlier, like I felt like this whole moving to Steam was a financial decision based off of financial pressure off an investor. No one's told me this. I want to be very clear to say that again. No one's told me this. This is just my own speculation and my own opinion. But I don't I don't really think this was a Steven decision. I think this was like between a rock and a hard place kind of decision. Because I think if that investor pulled out and tried to rely on its community, we probably would have lasted maybe a couple more months, maybe 6 months at most. But inevitably, they would have shut down. And I don't think Steven wants to literally fall at the 1 yard line. That's what I think happened. Let me see. Steven said straight from his mouth, the game is fully funded until full release. That is the point, not the money. Dude, when you're the CEO of a company, like, and you have investors, like, you're not going to throw your investor under the bus. You're not going to say, oh, I was forced into this decision by my investor that is giving me millions on millions of dollars. I had no choice. Like, you're not as transparent as Intrepid is. That is the dumbest thing to ever do. If that was the true reality of the matter, even if you're trying to be like transparent to your community, like you just can't do that. Then the investor's going to leave. Like, I don't get it. Like, just sell me skins again. And that's what I mean. If they just relied off of the community, yes, they would probably last a couple of more months and that investor would have been gone. Investors don't give them money once. Usually investors give them money quarterly, annually, but it's consistent money that they rely on, sort of like, you know, little pensions or little things from the government or whatever, right? Like, it is what it is. Let me see. He said, sure. It becomes hard to believe that when they keep selling alpha over and over again in new ways. Yeah, no, Rive, like I said, I think again, it's just, was there ways, especially in the pre-order pack days, of them offering the pre-order pack, and then they're like, hey, like once you get this pack, we're not going to have keys. And then literally like 8 months later, they sold keys. And everyone expected, like I said it, I think in the middle of that time, they're probably going to sell keys, guys. Because in my mind, like, again, like Steven may be a multimillionaire, but there's no one that rich that can literally support an entire company and their salaries and insurance. Like, again, like I don't know like where people think that Steven is just this trillionaire that just has all this expendable money to spend for their company. Like, I don't get that. So can you comment on how these investors will react a few months after Steam release, when those Steam reviews are piling up? I think if the investor wanted it, Maybe they'll care about it. Maybe they won't. I don't know. I just don't know. If the investor, like, let's say what I'm saying is actually accurate, and the investor pressured Steven to go to Steam Early Access, and then, you know, we have, let's say in January, it's overwhelmingly negative. People are making videos. A lot of the big creators are talking about, oh, Ashes of Creation is like so bad. Like, what were they doing? Yada, yada, yada. We'll literally be in a No Man's Sky situation. And then it could be something like, you know, the investor could do one or two things. They can be like, it's okay, I still believe in your project. Thank you for trying. But the thing is that it kind of doesn't matter to an investor of like the perception of the thing you're investing in. All they care about is the money. And if they go to Steam and they, let's say we go from, because Steven said the number, he said like 113,000 accounts that have logged into Alpha 2 in the course of Alpha 2. If that number jumps to 900,000, you know, investors doesn't care if it's like overwhelmingly negative or whatever, overwhelmingly positive. Like, hey, like he got his money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, you invest in the project, you got to make sure you get your money back. But they could always pull out. I mean, it depends on like contracts. I mean, there's so many different factors that could be there, but I mean, it just kind of is what it is. Let me see. Ashes has always claimed they don't have investors, but that's been disproven because one of their investors sued them at one point. Yeah. I mean, us Rive, like us content creators, we've been so much in the know about these things. Like, I've always kind of assumed, and even then when we knew that there were investors, like I always kind of assumed there was one. I mean, again, Steven can't be the only one pulling the financial strings. Give me 1 second, guys. My daughter is crying. Just want to play some music real fast. Be right back. Sorry. It's like my daughter had like a nightmare or something. I don't know what she was crying about. What's going on in chat? Rug pull. Let me see. Rug pull MMOs don't develop the game and give people over a year of gameplay and consistent updates. Bro, he's talking about Chronicles of Valeria. Dude, if you think Ashes is Chronicles of Valeria, go and watch Caspian show off what Chronicles was going to be like and what it ended up like. Or better yet, go watch Kira's video on Chronicles of Valeria that has like over 1.9 million views or something crazy like that. Gives you a really good indication of what a rug pull MMO is. Or if you go to Perfect World, or like there's so many examples of freaking rug pull MMOs. Ashes would be like the worst scam. Because they have like a legitimate company in San Diego, California. They have, 250 employed people. Like, what scam could they be doing? And especially giving players, like whenever we saw the live streams, it's pretty much a one-to-one what you would see now. Now we can all argue that, where some of the live streams, like vertical slices of things, like when it comes to like the freehold, or when it comes to like the story arc, or when it comes to like certain things, probably. But I don't think you would consider Ashes Creation a rug pull at this point. Ashes isn't really better than Chronicles of Valeria. Really, brother? You have to be trolling me at this point. Chronicles of Valeria was just a jumping puzzle, right? It was literally a platformer. Like, wow. That's just wild. Oh, it's just wild. Let's see. Yeah, this guy's just spewing stuff like this for a minute. That's fine. It's whatever. I mean, my whole thing is that I want Ashes to succeed. I really do. I want Ashes to succeed. I want Ashes to be, a successful MMO. And there were people that even when New World launched and it went through its dragging of the mud, you had Josh Strife Hayes, the whole timeline of New World video come out, and people just roasting the fuck out of New World. There were just many people that saw the potential of the game, like through the rough edges, through like the bugs, through the lack of content. They saw what New World could become if given more time. And it's so funny because like a couple of months ago, there was like this, like, I want to call it like a resurrection, but there was like this refreshing with New World. And 4 years later, people were like, oh my God, the game's like really good. I think it was like their latest update that came out, and they put it for free on Steam, and people were like jumping in and people were having a good time. People were saying like, man, there's so much like, good content, whatever. But that's the thing with MMOs, dude. Like MMOs take a notorious amount of time to get their bearings. Like that's just a literal fact and reality of it. And especially because you have to compete with all these big MMOs that have been around. Like, how can a brand new MMO compete with content of Guild Wars 2 or compete with content of World of Warcraft? You can't. It's literally impossible. And I think with Ashes, like I said, their scope of their game, even back in 2017, was just so insane. But I think, I always had hope they can pull it off. I wanted to believe, just like probably everyone here wanted to believe, because you probably came from an MMO or were still playing an MMO that you just weren't really that hyped for anymore, or you just didn't have, the same excitement you once did for it. How many keys do you think they will sell on Steam? Pure speculational thought. Oh man. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're hoping for hundreds of thousands. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what they're hoping for, right? I think realistically, I think we'll have 50 to 100,000 that'll purchase. Because you have to understand, this MMO has been around for a while. Like, people know of this game. You know how I know that? Because you go back and look at the Lazy Peon video of 2020. You go back and look at the Asmongold reaction to that video. You go and look at the video of Steven talking to multiple big time content creators. Millions of people within the MMO space know of Ashes of Creation. This is why I always thought it was just weird to market, because your marketing is already done. Like, every MMO person knows of Ashes of Creation. You can see 100K is only like 5 million in funding. If that's the case, then that's what it is. I don't know. I mean, again, 5 million to me is such a kick in the bucket. Like, it's, you know, I don't know. I think they will sell around 50K. Yeah. I mean, I would hope more, right? I would hope like freaking millions, right? That'd be amazing. But I don't know. The reason why I say 50 to 100,000 is because of how just different this game is. Like, no one's rushing out to play Lineage 2 or to play Arcage, right? And those two games are kind of what Ashes is based on, right? So that's why I say this game is just so fundamentally different than World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy 14. It's so different in comparison that I think that difference truly scares people, because I've talked to people who've literally played Ashes of Creation as a fresh experience, and they're so lost. They don't know what they're doing. If what they're doing is, should I be doing this? Like, should I, because, like, there's MMOs that have like this golden path of like going from quest to quest to quest to quest to quest. You go to your new quest hub, you get a whole bunch of quests there, and you just quest. That's how a lot of MMOs are. A lot of MMOs are super heavily quest based. Ashes really isn't like that. And currently, as much as we say that Ashes of Creation is a sand park, it's more of a sandbox currently. I mean, let's just be realistic. Like, it's more of a sandbox. It's, yes, are there some quests? Yes, there are quests, but not as much as you would think for how big this game is. So, let me see, Arcade was the best MMO I ever played. The pay to win ruined it, unfortunately. No, yeah, that's what a lot of people tell me. I mean, again, that's why personally, I don't play Korean MMOs. Like, I don't play any like Lost Ark or just any of those, Eastern MMOs, because their monetization practices are garbage. And I loved Lost Ark. I mean, dude, I can't imagine if Lost Ark was actually created by like Riot or, some, Western company. But Western companies are getting to the same monetization practices that, that the Koreans do. So it's like, look at World of Warcraft. I mean, World of Warcraft literally monetizes you every chance they get. Like, every chance they get now. Not saying every MMO is like that, but WoW is kind of my MMO. And, I don't know, man. I just want something different. I truly do. I'm sick and tired of the seasonal model of living within the patch, playing the patch. You're not really playing the game, you're playing the patch. And it's refreshing to play Ashes. It just feels different. Feels so different. As an Albion online player, which has not questing. I'm not used to questing, so I'm chill. Okay, well, that's good, man. That's good. Yeah, and there used to be like over 500,000 Albion online players. I don't know how far that's may have fallen, or maybe it's the same. I don't know. but I've actually seen a lot of Albion online players play Ashes. And again, the one thing that Ashes really does have going for it is its combat. I think the combat's solid. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's the most amazing combat in any MMO. Like, but dude, how many MMOs have we freaking played where the combat just sucked? Like, it just wasn't good. And to be honest with you, I remember watching Alpha 1, and Alpha 1's combat, I'm sorry, did not look good at all to me. It just did not. I just did not look good. So, I mean, I think, again, Ashes does have that going for himself because, again, like you have all these other MMOs that come out and, oh, yes, it has a bunch of quests, it has a bunch of content, but the combat sucks. So people literally get deflated so quickly because as soon as they hear the combat sucks, it doesn't matter what you say after that. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant because the combat sucks. And so, hey there, how's it going? I noticed Ashes is about to be on Steam. Does this mean I'll be available to purchase it through Steam, or will it still be through Intrepid's site? So, on December 11th, you can actually wishlist Ashes of Creation currently on Steam. If you type in Ashes of Creation here on Steam, it'll take you to this page here with Ashes of Creation, and you can wishlist it. Okay, and you'll be able to launch it from here. And you'd be able to, I believe, pay for it on Steam. So yes, you will still, like I said, if you go down here, it still requires for you to go to ashesofcreation.com to make an account. But once you do that, you'll be able to link that account to your Steam account, and then you'll be good. So yeah, man, thank you. Welcome to the stream, dude, by the way. Let me see if you do the maths, it's much less. They are selling it for $42 discount, which is around $30 for Intrepid, since Steam gets almost 20% commission. If you do 30 times 50,000, it's 1.5 million. Yeah. And again, I just don't know. Like, I think what they're, if we go look at Phantom's videos, and he talked about beta and his whole beta being in quarter 4, I ain't gonna, write off Phantom anymore. I'm not gonna write it off as some, it's just Phantom being Phantom, you know what I mean? Like, I think he might be right. And as much as I said for, this game has years to develop, I still truly believe that, because when I said that, the reason why I said that is because on paper, both continents, all 85 nodes, all different layouts, all 64 classes, that's over 9,000 ability that's unique, that has to be changed by augments, or potentially 9,000 abilities. You have all of the POIs, you have all of the world bosses, you have all of the dungeons, you have just a whole bunch of everything. And holy shit, we have Dusty raiding. What is up, brother? Thank you, brother, for the raid. Welcome, everybody. We're just talking about the whole Steam thing and everything like that. If Shakespeare, thank you so much for the follow, brother. Thank you. And of course, I'm pretty sure you guys know Dusty is the top streamer in the Ashes of Creation category every single day. And he streams every single day for pretty much 8 to 12 hours, like every day. So I'm pretty sure most of you guys have checked him out. But yeah, he's been on the 1v1. We actually had him on for the tank showcase, or for the, not showcase, I would say the tank roundtable. Let me see. Yeah, it's still 4 years for development, in my opinion. Yeah, it's still some ways. And I think even now, I think more realistically, with Phantom's take on the second continent being an expansion, that cuts a lot of development time. So, but I think, I still stand on my principle that on paper, of everything, the Tolnar, the Underrealm, the 64 classes, like I said, both continents, all the naval mariner classes, all of the node system and everything that the node system entails, professions, levels 1 through 50, all of that is going to take probably 3 or 4 more years. So even if Ashes launches and they're live, a live launch, like not alpha, not beta, like this is their 1.0, we might not get the full on paper Ashes of Creation that we've had since 2017 till like maybe 1 or 2 expansions later. Because you can have one expansion be the second continent, you can have the other expansion be like the Tolnar and the Elder Realm. I mean, it really just depends on like how they slice it. Hey dude, what's going on, brother? What is it? Shaco? Is that how you say it? I could be wrong. Sorry. Steam Early Access, who would have thought? I know, right? Not me. Well, actually I did. I did. I got a text message. My wife, what is she asking me? She's asking me to wash the bottles. See, yeah, second continent will be first expansion along with the Tolnar, calling it now, pin this. Oh yeah. Like I'm pretty sure, like I said, like there's going to be like there has to be content that's going to be cut if they're wanting to. And again, I do agree with Phantom. Like if I had a choice, would I rather them start working on the second continent at the start of next year and have it be the same kind of process of like the way the desert, the tropics, the June Dark, and how like the zone comes out, it's super bare bones, a couple of things here, a couple of things there. Like I'd rather just start with a 2.0 revisions of our continent. Like what I would really want is let's finish this continent. Let's do the Badlands. Let's get the Redwood area finished. And once those are finished, then we can do the 2.0 version of the Riverlands, 2.0 version of the Anvils, 2.0 version of all the other biomes. Because Riverlands still needs love, man. Like Jova, Nuela, we need some more POIs. Like competing POIs. The fact that Marilith and Winstead are stacked with like Carfin, Highwayman Hills, Citadel, like we need better competing POIs on those other nodes. Because, someone said it earlier today in chat that if they don't fix that, then every node is going to basically develop the same way. And I agree. Like it's not going to be every server's unique because it's literally going to be the same. Every server is going to almost be a carbon copy of each other, which never was in the design of Ashes of Creation. We see Steven said on the Copium Clinic vid that they don't plan on making nodes equitable like that. Well, Steven also said that Steam was never going to be a thing. So can we really trust Steven at this point? Just saying. Like I said, and things change. Like they said a month ago that, oh no, we're not going to wipe. We're wiping. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, Steven always talks about like the whole development is a moving train. Things are subject to change. That is the most truest true that has ever been trued. And I just really don't, with enough feedback, Intrepid could change their mind. Again, another example is when Steven said in multiple streams, and you can go back and listen to them, where we wanted accountability for people breaking TOS and for people duping, for people that were caught doing exploits or cheating or RMT. And what did Intrepid say? What was their mantra that Steven kept on saying stream after stream? No, we don't do that. We're not going to single out individuals. We're not going to But what we kept doing was expressing our distaste with that. That decision was not good for us. And what did they do? They changed. So I think just like anything else, this is all feedback. The more feedback and the louder we are about certain things, they can change. I'm not saying they will change, but they can. I think that's enough for certain people, at least for me. Come on, for a financial standpoint, this is their best decision. They are draining their money, maintaining the servers and building, hiring people. I don't understand why people are mad about their decision on early access. They don't have a publisher to back them up. They are funding the development through Steven's pocket. They need this to keep the development going. Brother, if you were watching me earlier, you're preaching to the choir. I was literally saying all this already. Like I said, we're not AGS. Like AGS was backed by Amazon, which is literally $1 trillion company. Every other major publisher are multi-billion-dollar companies. Intrepid is a startup company. I don't understand the hate boner of a company needing money to sustain, especially startups. And I've said this before on other live streams. It's like startups need more money than the typical company because they're not established yet. Intrepid needs to establish themselves with Ashes of Creation. They can't do that if they trip at the 1 yard line. Yeah, especially with MMOs. Exactly. Like, it's not like they're launching some survival game. Like, MMOs are literally the hardest genre to make. And the genre is dying, dude. Like, it is dying. Like, it's been on life support for a while, but now with like New World being killed off, and then you have like the Lord of the Rings MMO being canceled, you have the Warhammer MMO being canceled. We had like, that was like the 6th Warhammer MMO that's been canceled. It's insane. Like, the genre is only being stood up by the pioneers that basically started it. You know, it's crazy. You have RuneScape, which is like what, a 20-year-old MMO. You have World of Warcraft. You have Final Fantasy 14. They have all these MMOs that have been around for decades because no new ones could literally be around long enough to establish themselves or to make a foothold. It's hard. So, I don't know. What the fuck is this Restream bot? This Restream bot is something that kind of helps me, that pulls in chat people from YouTube and people on Twitch. So that way the Twitch people can actually see the YouTube comments and vice versa. Because if I didn't have that, you would only get to see like Twitch comments if you're on Twitch. And if you're on YouTube, you only see YouTube comments. So this kind of just helps the conversation be more just better. Because if I start talking to someone on Twitch and you're like on YouTube and you're like, what comment's that? I don't see anybody saying that. That's kind of what that is. By the way, you're looking great, Vladis. Welcome back. Thank you, brother. Yeah. I don't feel great, but you know, as a dad, as you know, having 3 kids, one brand new one, first 6 months are usually like the worst. So I'm still on that one. True New World is on maintenance mode at this point. Yeah, it is. MMOs aren't really made by indie companies, so there is the normal dev process with new ideas, more like other types of games. AOC is the only one that is trying to do this. Exactly, dude. Like, look at Throne of Liberty. Throne of Liberty was in development for 12 years. NCSoft had that cooking for 12 years. It changed, like, what was it? Like 3 major times? It was originally supposed to be like an ARPG style game. You know, like, and where's that MMO at? Like, if I go to Steam charts, because I haven't even looked up Throne of Liberty lately. I don't know if it's doing good, bad. Liberty. Oof. 12,000 players playing. You'll have people playing on December 11th, Ashes of Creation, a game that is literally not even finished yet. And there'll be more people playing Ashes than Throne Liberty that's been in development for 12 years. How much is the early access, by the way? $50. They did say it would be $50, but however, there is going to be a sale that'll make it like 42. Let me see, according to NCSoft, TNL made 200 million last year. Well, of course, because if you look to see how TNL is monetized, you'd understand why. Same thing with like Diablo Immortal. You know, Diablo Immortal initially had like a huge bunch of people play it like on mobile, but you just need like 50 to 100,000 people. All you need is like 1% of whales to play your game and you're good. Like if you have all of the Korean monetization practices like on lock, you're good. You could have like 30,000 people playing your game and still make buku money as a company because all the whales are just supporting it basically. I mean, that's why those Korean, again, they're smart, dude. They know what they're doing when it comes to monetization. This isn't just something that they rigged together. It's a very calculated and sophisticated monetization practice that they've literally perfected at this point. So is there a guide to how we link our alpha access to our Steam library? No, there isn't a guide yet, but I'm pretty sure like they'll be talking about that. They said they were going to have a whole article that they're going to be posting from the dev stream today. It might release tomorrow, weekend, on Monday. I don't know, but it'll be releasing soon. As someone getting into game dev myself and playing with making a game with genres that don't normally mix because I think that sounds fun. I 100% know I can't touch anything like an MMO because of the amount of work, time, and money. Similar to multiplayer games for a solo dev. Yeah, I mean, it's insane. I mean, it's crazy. You know, and I always thought, man, it'd be like so awesome if Browser Game God, dude, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you. Really appreciate that. For those of you who may not know me, I'm Vladis. I stream Ashes of Creation content, and we're basically just talking about the whole, you know, Steam release, you know, the whole thing that happened today on Ashes of Creation's live stream. So I really appreciate the raid, man. Thank you. That's literally Diablo Immortal's whole thing. That was the design choice. Yeah, the whole reason of Diablo Immortal was the monetization. And look, dude, I mean, I've seen so many Asmongold videos of that one guy who literally has spent $500,000. Just him, one dude, has spent over $500,000 on Diablo Immortal. Like, how? What? In my wildest dream, I could never spend $500,000 on a mobile game to prove to strangers that I'm good at a mobile game. That screams F250 lifted with like 33-inch wheels to me. It's just, what are you compensating for, brother? I just don't know. It's a serious mental illness. It absolutely is. Oh my God. I can't imagine having enough money to be able to spend that kind of money on a game. Brother, a mobile game. Let's be very specific here, because a game is one thing. A mobile game. Just really want to stress that part. A mobile game. Oh my God. If I had 500K, I wouldn't be working right now. Yeah, I know, dude. Dude, that's a lot of tacos. Yeah, I know. It's, you see, all business is man. He spent the most on Clash of Clans too, dude. Yeah, and I've seen some YouTubers, because there's this one mobile game that I play. I literally just got into. It's called Whiteout Survival. It's kind of like Clash of Clans, or maybe like you build your fort kind of thing, and you're on timers and everything like that. I've been playing it for free. I haven't spent a single dime on this game. But now I'm at a point where it really wants me to purchase something. And I just looked up, you know, what can I do to, like, you know, as a free to play player, to, like, you know, to, you know, speed up stuff or whatever. And I watched this one video, and on his description, dude, he says that he's purchased $80,000 worth of buys and add-ons on Whiteout Survival. And I was just like, no wonder the mobile gaming industry is a $1 billion industry, dude. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And I don't get it. Anyway, let me see. Oh, don't get drawn into that, Vladis. No, I like playing those kind of games. Like I was actually playing, there was a Street Fighter game that I played too, but I ended up just deleting it. I got it to a point where there really wasn't much I can do if I didn't pay money. Like the mobile games literally stop. Like there's nothing you can do at a certain point unless you purchase something. And once I got to that point, I was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna delete the game. It's like, I really enjoyed it. You know, it was a really cool Street Fighter game, but I had all the stuff upgraded. I had, you know, I went through that whole thing and I got to a block point where I couldn't defeat the next team, but I had no more ways to get like my upgrades for my gear, or I was at this like complete stopping point. And when you go and watch like videos on YouTube with like mobile games, dude, those guys are so fucking serious. It's insane. It's crazy. But see, I think it's digital cash, but that people view as a number combined with that addiction. I seriously can't comprehend spending that kind of money. Well, it's like you also think of people who like play Genshin Impact, right? Or there's a lot of the gacha MMOs. Bro, the gacha MMOs. And again, this is why I don't like Korean MMOs. I'm not really a gambler. I've never been much of a gambler. Have I gambled? Absolutely. But I have a very, it doesn't, like I can stop. Like I remember when I was getting my CDL license, we were in Oklahoma and we were at an Indian reservation, like near an Indian reservation where like there was like this huge casino. And I took like $250 and it literally spent it within like 40 minutes. And I went with one of my friends at the time and he took out $250 too. And at the end of the 40 minutes, I was trying to go and find him. And I was like, hey dude, I was like, did you win or did you lose? He's like, bro, I already down like $2,000. And I was like, you just took out $250. What do you mean $2,000? He's like, bro, there was an ATM over there. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, you're one of those. It's like, I just assumed that because we took out the money beforehand, I thought this is what we were going to spend. And after that, that was it. But, you know, some people, man, they have that itch, you know, that gambling's a real serious thing, dude. Like it's not a joke. And companies know that. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen sports betting, but CoffeeZilla, who's an amazing YouTuber, by the way, did a whole video on sports betting. And right now, the sports betting apps are one of the most downloaded in the Apple and Google store. Like RainBet and like all these other kind of sports betting stuff. The most downloaded. It's the most downloaded in comparison to the NFL app or ESPN app. More people have the sports betting app than the actual official like sports shit. Like it's crazy. I had a scare when I was 18 with a slot machine and that pulling more money out, and I was like, I don't want to touch that after that. Yeah, it is like I don't know, like I can do it, you know, but it's like once I'm done with my money, like I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna stop. Like, because it's like it's literally designed for you to lose. Like, can you win? Absolutely, but that's how they get you. Like to me, if I ever won like $70 or $100, I would just stop. I'd be like, okay, cool. I get my free lunch for the day. I'm good with that. One of the phone games I played has a weekly event. People drop 5 to 10K or more to win. Brother Steven, if you want to make a mobile game, you call me on Discord. We will talk. I will give you the full monetization plan and we will have Ashes of Creation running and financed, no fucking problem. And I've always said this jokingly, but I truly mean it. I was like, dude, I would not mind if Intrepid made a fucking mobile game, an egregious, money grabbing, fucking gotcha mobile game, and financed Ashes of Creation based off of the profits of that mobile game. I would not mind at all. give me $15 a month or like just do $15 a month for the MMO and nothing else, not even a cash shop for like cosmetics, and just that's it. No pay to win, no nothing. Completely funded by this freaking crazy ass like gotcha mobile game. Like I'd be so fucking down. Just make like a Varan Candy Crush and do that. You know, like I'm serious. Like, why the fuck not? You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna be a gaming company, do that. Like go and do like make one mobile game of like all like make a whiteout survival like game, make a fucking, you know, Candy Crush kind of game, do all of that shit, you know, because honestly, that's where it is now in the mobile gaming. I mean, you kind of notice this shift happening as well, right? There was a game. What is it? Scars of Honor. So my buddy Roar, I want to say it's called Scars of Honor. It's an MMORPG that's in development. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this one, but I'll show you. So this is one MMO that's in development. It's a tab target game. And I believe to be like a tester, like they're kind of in the same position Ashes is in. It's not finished or whatever, but it's like $30 on Steam to become a tester. And this game will also be playable on mobile. And I can't remember where they say that. Right here. From PC to your pocket. So you'll be able to play it on mobile. It looks interesting. Like I was just kind of checking it out or whatever, and I'm like, I like the graphics. I mean, it looks very kind of similar to like WoW and shit. But I don't know, like I don't want to play another kind of WoW game. I don't know. And that's kind of, this is why like I'm so excited for Ashes, because Ashes is just so like different compared to like the current landscape of MMOs and where just MMOs are currently. You know what I mean? So Fupo, dude, what's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my God, Raid Shadow Legends, brother. You just need to make a Varan Shadow Legends is what you need to do. Ashes is something new for sure. Well, I mean, I would say it really is, because what the old, right, what it's inspired from isn't really present in 2025. Like, can people go and play Lineage 2 or Arcade or whatever? They can, but no one wants to play like a super old MMORPG that no one's playing currently. And so to bring a lot of these aspects of these older, like early 2000 style games into 2025, to me, it's a big deal. And I think that could actually get the community to be like, oh, Ashes of Creation is very different, like in comparison to World of Warcraft, in comparison to Final Fantasy 14. I mean, seriously, if you compare Ashes to any of the big MMOs, Ashes is vastly different. Let me see. I just got into chat. How is Ashes? I've been lost without New World. Mick, dude, Ashes, if you are expecting New World, Ashes is not New World. Ashes is not action based. It's not an action. It's a tab target game. So that might be a turnoff for you. But, I would say, you know, go look at my, you know, Ashes live streams, go watch, you know, any Ashes content creator, myself, Burns, Flanker, Theory Forge, you know, Dusty Y plays Ashes of Creation every single day. And just, you know, look, you know, and again, you know, I know there's new people coming in chat. Ashes of Creation will be going on Steam on December 11th, and you'll pay $50. So if you want to scratch an MMO itch, Ashes could scratch that itch, but also know Ashes is still very much in an alpha state. So if you were to compare it to like New World, think of like New World 2 years before New World launched. Very, very kind of similar, in comparison. A lot of bugs, a lot of rough edges, but you probably could see the little glimmers, right? The little flashes in the pan for you. Yeah, I can't play the old MMOs. I don't like the graphics. One of the reasons I actually sparked my interest. Yeah, 100%. And honestly, like I was always wanting that. I remember playing WoW in Shadowlands, and I was like, dude, I want an MMO that is like a more realistic looking MMO. Because I've just been playing Ashes for so long, it's just so cartoony. And I was like, I would love like just a more realistic looking MMO. And when I saw the 2020 live stream for Ashes, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I fucking been looking for. You know what I mean? Like, it's so good, and it's going to get better. I'm just glad that Renkai is finally on the PTR. Thank Christ. Because I've been wanting the Renkai so bad. Oh my God. Let me see. Love the old school MMOs and love the feel of Ashes for that reason. Yeah, no, for sure. How are the devs? Are they doing the right thing? The devs have been cooking, dude. The devs have been listening to the community. They've been hunkering down, making the content, doing the things that, we've been saying, hey, this is what needs to be done. This is what's going on. Yeah, I think the devs have been doing a really good job. And this is why, like, when it comes to December 11th, there's going to be a lot of changes that we are currently not experiencing, but we still have 4 weeks until the 11th. And they, in the live stream today, they promised that they were going to be doing a lot of PTR testing from now until then. And there's going to be a lot of big things that are coming towards the 11th. So I hope, all I can do is cross my fingers and I'm going to make a video basically of like the top 5 things Ashes Creation needs to do to pull off like a good, December 11th launch, something around those lines. Because I feel like there's certain things that I've been just really thinking about. Like, for one, and I haven't talked to anybody about this, but I don't know if the Sweat of Your Brow quest is worth it. That quest, when I talk to brand new people, really just provides more confusion. I think it would just be better if you just spawn into the world with your tools. Like, spawn in with your tools, and maybe you can just do, like, to get your mount, all you needed to do was to do the very first quest, which is like, go talk to the mayor in Lion's Hold or Samia's Hope, and the optional kill 3 goblins. And once you talk to that person, you attune yourself to the Ember Spring, and then you go back and talk to her, and she'll give you a mount. I think that's the better way to go, to be honest with you, because then they'll have their tools, and then maybe there could be a quest to like craft, like actually craft your novice tool, like of your choice, like one novice tool of your choice. And you go out and actually gather the real wood. You go out and, mine the real stuff. And then you go to a real bench and process them. And you go to another bench and you actually craft it. That to me would be way better than the Sweat of Your Brow quest. Because the Sweat of Your Brow quest really just causes more congestion in Lion's Hold, which then causes lag, which causes, just a whole bunch of stuff. And again, I've been thinking about this for a while. I really don't know how to make Sweat of Your Brow work. I just think that you don't. I think that's, and I haven't wanted to say this for a while because I wanted to really see like, how can we do this? Like, can this really work? But I feel like it's a form of hand holding that I don't think needs to exist. I think if you literally just give, and now when you create a character, you actually log in, with like a fighter, you have like a two-handed sword and a short bow. So you have both your weapons already equipped. But I just think, why not just spawn with all your tools too? And that way you can just go do that one quest real quick and then head out. Like, you're in Samia's Hope for a little bit and then you're just out into the world. And then once you go to like, Briarmore Farms, there could be a quest giver there that says, hey, do you want to make a tool? You know what I mean? And then that could be like the new sweat of your brow quest kind of thing. And you actually make a tool, like a real one or whatever tool you want. I think that'll give people especially new players, a real good indication. Dude, I'm telling you, I've had new players like say to me that they went to try to go make something at the Lion's Hold benches and they can't. They're like, I can only make withered snowdrops. Like, why? Like, I need to make snowdrop thread. It's like, oh, that bench you're at is not a real bench. It's only meant for this one quest that you'll never ever do again. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And again, just provides more and more confusion. More starting quests that make you leave and come back would be great in my opinion. Yes. And I think that's the way to go. Like, again, most players I think would be fine with that. I just think, again, we're trying to literally get them in, get them out, get them in, get them out. Like, and I think the sweat of your brow quest and getting your mount causes so much congestion because that's literally that's the first thing you want to do. Am I not wrong? If you are a returning player, you've played Ashes of Creation for months and months and months, or if you're a brand new player, you're in a guild and you're being like, what's the first thing I should do? Get your mount, get your tools, right? Isn't that the thing you basically tell your new people? So if you already have your tools and all you need to do to get your mount is to do this one simple quest at the cathedral or in the thing or whatever, like, you're good. You can literally just start venturing out into the world and start, doing the other quest, right? Going and kill goblins up north or, venturing off somewhere else or literally doing whatever you want to do, but you're not beholden to just staying in Lion's Hold. And I tried to time it too. Like, when I was doing the Sweat of Your Brow quests, it took me almost like 7 minutes. And I know what I'm doing. So just imagine someone who doesn't know what they're doing, right? Maybe they find the interface or UI to be kind of clunky. Like, that could take them maybe 15 minutes, depending. And that's if they're maybe asking someone in their guild or not. So then you combine that with people wanting to not be in their queue, because let's say there's a queue and well, how long is this queue going to take? And you think of all those people that are literally stuck doing the Sweat of Your Brow quest in Lion's Hold. It's just for what? To show them a literal way to do a profession that isn't actually how you're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense. You need a mount in your tools, especially if you feel like it's worth gathering to make some basic weapons and or armor. No, 100%. But I feel like you need to give them an actual representation of the progression system and not some halfway measure. Because I feel like the Sweat of Your Brow quest is nothing but a halfway measure. And it really isn't accurate or indicative to the real process, which again causes confusion. And I think the less confusion that you bring to a new player, the more they'll stick with the game, right? But I think realistically, the Sweat of Your Brow quest just really causes more confusion, not less. Plus, the Destiny system makes it so that you can focus on making the intro quest to starting areas more story based rather than info dumps on basic game mechanics. Yeah, I think the Destiny system is really good. I like it. I think I would rather that, to me, is a better Sweat of Your Brow than the Sweat of Your Brow quest. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think if they incentivize the Destiny system more, because I think currently right now when you do like an achievement, like a little Destiny star, it gives you like 234 experience, which is literally nothing. I think if they actually give you like adequate experience bumps as you're doing stuff, I think it could be really, really good. But I don't know. I would just rather people play the game naturally in a realistic manner than offer a quest that presents to you how something could work, but it realistically doesn't work in that fashion. You know what I mean? At least the benches. I think the benches really is what causes the confusion. Bring back the old days of no guides, figure it out yourself, and quit if you can't figure it out. I wish I got into MMOs when I was younger and got to experience those struggles. Dude, those struggles are no longer, they don't no longer exist, dude. Like, the whole, no one is going to figure it out. You know why? I'll tell you why. How do I, yada, yada, yada. It's not going to exist. There's going to be guides. There's going to be Ashes. There's Ashes Codex. There's going to be Icy Veins. There's going to be max roll. There's going to be multiple websites that will have information on Ashes of Creation that as a new player, you'll just ask and the thing will tell you. Someone will have already figured it out and posted it somewhere. So there isn't going to be this information that isn't going to be anywhere, and a person's just going to have to figure it out. You know what I mean? So we don't live in that era anymore. That was an era back in 2004, 2003, because YouTube didn't exist then. YouTube, I think, was invented or came out in 2005. And even in 2007, YouTube really wasn't a great guide for many things gaming related. You didn't really start getting any real good gaming guides until like the 2010s. But again, we're just so far away from that era. That right. There is why I hate Codex, not to mention all the other internet-based things. Well, yeah, I mean, it's just, we live in a very informational based society now. I mean, there's AI, there's Grok, there's ChatGPT. I mean, if I need to know how to do something, I just ask it and it tells me. So we live in that era where that's just the case. So if I don't know how to do something, if I don't know how to make, just trying to just think of a freaking food dish like shepherd's pie. I have no idea how to make shepherd's pie. I could just Google it. How do I make shepherd's pie? And boom, it'll give me like all these results on how to make shepherd's pie. I'm not just going to have to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like maybe I used to back in the 1990s or the 1980s, but there were cookbooks and all that stuff back then too, right? It was just a little bit harder to come by. It's just information is so readily available now. Let me see. Sweater Your Brow quest did get made over a year ago without any updates between then and now. I'm all for Destinies and removing the useless benches. Yes, 100% me too. And again, I'm going to make a video kind of stressing to the devs as to like what I think would provide a really good user experience, because I think the game and actually going and really chopping real trees, going out getting real snowdrops or daffodils and going to the real benches and waiting not just 15 seconds. Because the thing too is, right, it's like you go and you process something and you think it's going to take like no time at all. And they're like, wait a minute, it's going to take like 10 minutes. Like it only took 15 seconds before. You know what I mean? So it's like players don't know, especially new players. They're, and that's the thing too, is that there's a lot of people in the Ashes community for some reason that are beyond gatekeeping, and I fucking hate it. There's a potential brand new player that could love Ashes of Creation, and people literally just love to run those people away. I don't understand. This is a person that just bought into it. Maybe they got a P3 key or something like that, and you're literally like asking them to figure it out, or, I'm not saying you specifically, but like I've seen this people in Discord, like you'll see like the fresh leaf on some, on someone in the Ashes Discord, and they're asking just a legitimate question, and people are just giving them such a hard time. I don't understand. They're brand new. Like, stop. Like, help them. They don't have the intense amount of knowledge like that we've had being here in this community for many years. They're excited. They just bought the game. They're like, hey dude, like what's going on? And I feel like sometimes the Ashes Discord is just so like toxic, dude. It's crazy. Um, I remember buying guides on paperback the size of school books, like the StarCraft guide books. Dude, I remember binding Nintendo Power. I remember going to OnQ. I don't even know if you guys even know. It was like an electronics store. And I bought the Metal Gear Solid guide for $15.99. I don't even know if I have it. I mean, I still have my Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. I don't think I do. But it was literally like this big old Metal Gear Solid book guide. Dude, this one right here. Oh my God, is this it? Dude, this is the exact one. This is literally right here. The ultimate strategy guide. This was a thick beast too. I had this book and that was the thing that got me to play, or not to beat Metal Gear, because I couldn't figure out. And again, I'm going to go off on a small little tangent on Metal Gear, but if you know, you know. In the first Metal Gear, there was a part back then where I was stuck, where Sniper Wolf had Meryl pinned in this location, and there was nothing I could do to get to Sniper Wolf, nor could I try to snipe her where she was. And I was always dying there, and dying, and no matter what I did, no matter what weapon I used, I couldn't figure it out. So then once I got the guide, I went to that spot, and I was like, oh, I have to go back and get the freaking remote controlled missile launcher. And that was like the thing that saved me. I was like, oh my God, I never would have figured that out. In a million years, never would have figured that out. But this was my Google back in, what was it, 1997 when it came out. Man, that brings back memories seeing this dude. Oh man, memories, dude. Some of my favorite interactions just have been hanging out in the Goblin era, chatting with people who just bought the game and answering questions, and at a party healing them on my 25 cleric or bard. Yeah, man. I mean, dude, that's the one thing I've been seeing so many cool like interactions. I've heard a lot of really good things from people too, from our community. I don't want to just deem like our community sucks and it's so negative. No, there's a lot of really great stories that I've heard from new people. A lot of people are very welcoming, very inviting. But you know, it just always takes like a couple of idiots, you know, or toxic a-holes to just kind of ruin your experience, right? So it sucks for those new people, but I'm really glad for the others that found actual like decent, good people to help them in their journey and help them in their game and stuff. Because I do feel like we have like a good group of people in the Ashes community. There's a lot of really good guilds. There's a lot of great guild leaders, great officers, just people that want to help, you know, that want to be like, hey, dude, like, because again, this is going to be a person that's going to help us finance this game and potentially like find some actual enjoyment in a MMO in 2025, which I believe is quite fucking rare, because there's a lot of people that play an MMO because they're either sunk cost fallacy of time, investment, gear, whatever. Some people don't even like the MMO they're playing. They just feel like there's nothing else I could play, you know? So it's kind of is what it is. Well guys, I've been streaming for like 2 hours. I'm going to kind of get off because I should have probably been done a while ago. And so I got to go wash the bottles in the kitchen. I just want to thank everybody for coming out with me, hanging out with me. There's going to be some videos coming down the pipe for my channel, especially regarding this news, regarding my sentiments, regarding what, you know, we can do to help, you know, shape Ashes of Creation up until the 11th, what Intrepid needs to do to make the 11th the best it possibly can in a realistic manner. But, thank you guys so much, seriously, for hanging out. Dusty, thank you again for the raid. And also just want to thank the other person, Browser Game God. Thank you so much too. I really appreciate it. Is there anyone else streaming in the Ashes category, or am I like literally the only? Am I the lonely boy in the Ashes category? Let's find out. Wow, I am the lonely boy in the Ashes category. Well, I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and end it here then. Thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Hang out with your family. Touch some grass, and I'll see you guys.